Music hardware setups have developed a bit of a reputation for being sprawling and used more for sketches than full songs. Today, I want to fly in the face of that and show you my process for making a dance music anthem kind of inspired by Justice with a more compact setup of the MPC One and Korg Minilogue, and taking that from just a vague idea to a full song. This all started when I sampled my Elektron Syntakt before getting rid of it, and I used those as the starting point for this song before it evolved dramatically. Alright, so I've got a couple of samples chopped so far. This guy, and this guy, and I'm just going to scan through this and try to find stuff I may want to use. That white noise was not intended to be a hi-hat, but we can take it as such. I might use this as an open hi-hat by just adjusting the start time slightly. A lot of kicks. I like the kicks on the Syntakt a lot. They don't always fit in a mix as well as I'd like, but my Lhasa version kicked in pretty hard. And I was like, I must capture all the kicks. Let's start with that because that's a concrete idea that I know I like. So I don't want this and this to step on each other. What if I just send this up an octave? Let's bring in something else. I do like the static. Oh dear. That's kind of fun. Okay, here's what I think we need to do. We need to bring in some plugins because we've got a foundation and I'm starting to spin my wheels a little bit and that's a problem. We'll try Nacht. I think one of the things bugging me about this is my perception of the clogged up frequency spectrum. Maybe a little better. That's maybe a lot better. And then let's get a transient shaper in here to emphasize that attack. What if we did this? When I first got just the drums done, I thought this was going to be a dead end, and it might still be, but like, this is kind of cool. So can we add more drums? I'll do this on a separate track so I don't mix this stuff up too much. So we got some harsh noises that will probably hurt your ears and also mine. All right, what about on here? So the funny thing is I actually didn't use this on a previous attempt at this. So what if this is the redemption arc? We're going to do the same thing for this one and make it, instead of one shot, note on, and then just have it end exactly where the next beat hits. I do not mind it. It is kind of cool. Might be a good layer. I like the analog bass. That's very nice. I need something funky. Not really sure what that will look like. I also need something stabby. Like something a little bit frantic. this needs to be more saturated in some way. Just dirty it up a tiny bit. What about this? Subtle, but I like it better. That's kind of fire. All right, it's the following day. I thought about this a little bit, and I have a few things I want to change. First of all, this part, I think I want to get rid of. I don't want to completely lose it, so I'm just going to bounce it to an audio track. For now, I'm just going to mute it. That theremin part, it's not a literal theremin, but you know, pretty close. Let's cut some more lows on that. This needs to be pretty buried and pretty not present. Maybe not that not present. Okay, and then this kick is very loud. You know, maybe this needs more upper mids and high end. It really takes over everything in its path. Like, that feels hollow to me, but maybe that's just by comparison. The other thing that I was thinking of trying is layering this with some sort of acoustic kick. Next up on the docket of things I was thinking about doing, adding some sort of electric piano. There's something here. Ooh. The nice thing too is that I can duplicate this and take the opportunity to turn this into an 8-bar loop, because 4-bar loops tend to get pretty stale pretty quickly, and I tend to get stuck in them. So I would know I've gotten stuck in a lot of 4-bar loops and gotten very annoyed at them and gone like, why does this feel like it doesn't go anywhere? So let's see if I can keep this going somewhere. It's kind of a mirror image of the first part. The question is, does it sound good with the rest of it? It sounds a little disconnected to me. Let's try that. So what if we send you up an octave? Where do you end up? Woo, it's clean! Okay, so then all of this other stuff needs to change. So that, I don't remember what this is. Yep, you're gone. So here's one thing I wish I hadn't done. I wish I had not bounced that one bass note, because I want to follow this new electric piano line that we have written together. And by we writing together, I mean you watching me do it. It might be that. Yep, easy. And these bass notes shall be copied. This sneaky little guy deserves to be its own track, actually. I am missing the tube drive, so let's bring it back. I'm really tempted to turn that kick tom thing into something as well. Instead, maybe I can just shorten it. Let's bring another key group in here. I think I need something synthy to double up that electric piano. we're doing that. And then we gotta edit that because that was sloppy. You can see the little peaks and valleys though. Oh man, automating on this thing's a pain! I'm sure it's worse on like older hardware, but you know. My kingdom for a freaking mouse, dude. Just in this one instance. Or like some little nodes I could scoot around, you know? That being said, pretty close. And I think it's just too much damn high end. And just tame it a little bit. Sidechain compression, man. So does it mean that this would also benefit from a pumper? So there's some superfluous stuff now. Like I don't need theremin, boy. Ooh, that was one other thing I wanted to do while I'm still here. I wanted to try to add some sort of clap, like a little shifted clap, and it'll sound exactly like that. Basically just channeling Neverender. Just a little bit of sparkle. All right, evening 3. Starting to wonder if this kick is holding me back a bit. So let's do a couple things. Let's just see if we can tame it a bit. I think it's just too pew-pewy, and so I need to consider getting a different kick. Let's do this. So D, C sharp, C. Ooh. Also that clap, not working. Oh, unfortunately, that is already better. Like, by quite a bit, actually. Super simple, and it's nice. So now we can bring in all of the MIDI from this. Okay, that means that all of that time that I spent hunting for the power cable and like getting this set up, getting this thing dusted off, and generally being annoyed was so worth it. So here's the plan. Record one pass of it with the filter all the way down, record a pass with the filter lifting over time, and then record a third pass. Let's add yet another audio track, because I want to do that again with some parameters changed. So now, I no longer need this to do any chords. So we're going to select all this, nuke it from low Earth orbit, and let's see if we can come up with something cool. Here. Oh, and my light. I can just open my window wider, I guess. Woo-hoo. So what else could I add to this? I think we could harvest some sound effects before we call it here. Good. All right, productive. And it's about now that I discovered that using a pumper instead of the ducker was a tactical error. I need to swap out all of the pumping for ducking. This is probably short enough to send to the ducker input. Sometimes with the really long kicks, the ducker ends up clamping down on sounds in a way that's really unpleasant. So normally, I'm not really one to work on songs section by section using this. It's not quite my tempo. In this case, I think it's going to be necessary. So for those first 8 bars, there's a bunch of stuff that can go away. How far we can push this before it becomes ridiculous. So this blinky boy gets turned down, mayhaps. I think I need to insert a bar. So before bar 17, I need a single bar. Okay, so this is where you actually miss the electric piano a bit. That's not enough, but we can adjust that after the fact. Could be fun. Use it as a little impact. And sync it to the tempo afterwards. Yo, do we just like compress this to hell and back? So what elements are we missing currently? Because there's a lot of muted tracks in here. Hey, remember this? How quaint. Doesn't fit. Man, that ARP. Makes all the difference in the world. So now what I want. And then we automate. Okay, so at this point I have 2 main sections. The intro section that I kind of started this video making, and then that full chord melody section with the Minilogue parts. I strung those together in song mode and then exported those to a new sequence, and then started doubling up sections, chopping parts out, and building up an arrangement. Several crashes later and a lot of automation, I finally ended up with this full song. So this is all in hardware. The only thing done after the fact is some mastering with Ozone. Enjoy. If you'd like some more music production from scratch with the MPC One, boy howdy have I got you covered up over here, and I'll be back with a new video in a little bit. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching.